Alright guys, so today I'm going to be installing my running light kit from Boost Auto Parts on my Ram. So this is a dual function kit that'll pretty much, when you flip your turn signal on, the light will completely go out when it flashes. It doesn't just dim the light when it flashes. So it has your modules for each side, and then it has your wire to run up to the running light. It's a nice kit. I bought cheaper kits that obviously, like I said, they just pretty much dim the light whenever you flip your turn signal on, and I wasn't the biggest fan of them, but I liked the way this kit looked when I saw their demonstration videos, which it was a little bit pricier, but I think it'll do a lot better than those other kits that I had. So I'm gonna get my door panel off. I'm gonna start on the driver's side and then go do the passenger side. I'll show you how to pull the door panel off. I mean, if some of you don't know how to do it, that's fine. Like I said, I'll show you real quick how to take it off. Alright guys, so I'm here at the driver door. There is, right behind the handle here, a hidden pocket that has a Phillips screw in it. These are T15 Torx. They're just little plastic bits. They just spin out. And there's another one. I think there's two on the bottom and two on each side. And then just that Phillips screw there. Then there's the trim piece up by the mirror. It just pops off. It's just, get it off. I need to go grab it. Oh, there it came off. It just pops out of there. It's just held on by two metal clips. So I just gotta take this, there's 6. These Torx out and that Phillips screw, and then I'll show you how the door comes off. Alright guys, so these Torx screws, all they are is just pretty much a push pin. That's all they are. So once you get all your screws out, it's easier to take this cover off around your door handle. You just, on the opening of the handle, it's just stick prying tool, pop it out, take it out of there. Then you just pretty much pick up on your door, pull it out. Careful, you will catch on your lock. And there's your door. Now you will have to unplug your power locks. So the module you want to get into is right here. You need this black plug. Right here. So the wires we're going to be using is from the, if you're holding it with the prong up the top, from the right you need the second one in on the top, which will be your positive. And then you'll need the first one in from the right, which is your ground. Those will be the two we need. Alright guys, so I got that wire, that's the second one in from the right. And I cut it. That's your power wire. So the side that goes up to the mirror is this orange wire. Now this stuff already comes pre-done, like butt connectors on. All these connectors are already on. So I don't have to do any of that. I just connect it to my wires, heat shrink it, and go. So what I want to do is put this wire on the wire that goes up to the mirror. And then on here you see signal, it's blue. This blue wire will go on the opposite side, that's on the plug. That gets your signal from your module. So I'm gonna hook that up now. Alright guys, so I got the outside hooked up to the side that goes up to the mirror, and where'd it go? The blue signal wire that goes into the plug that goes into the module. So the other two wires here is obviously your running light, which is your orange, and your ground. So they come with this baggie of wires here. So I'm not the biggest fan of T-taps, but they came with the kit, so I'm probably just going to use them. Apparently, if they come with the kit, they work. They're working. So you're going to put the T-tap on here. T-tap it. And then put your spade into your T-tap. Now, this bucket, I guess it would help if I have my camera in the right place. Put your T-tap on, and then put your spade connector into it. Now this ground wire, you're not going to use it. I guess it's for another application. I'm not sure. Maybe it's for trucks that don't have factory turn signals and stuff, or not. I don't know. But so once that's done, then we'll work on the running light. Alright guys, so next step is obviously hooking up that running light. So this connector breaks into two pieces with this single terminal connector. There's a long side and a short side. You don't need the long side right now. You'll need the shorter side. Now I've gone ahead and already got it through the A-pillar, and it's, I don't know if I can get my hand in here, it's right here. So this stuff just all pops out. Your trim, they just all pop out. It's pretty simple. So this is what I'm going to end up doing, because I forgot how much of a pain in the butt this is. I'm going to take a piece of mechanics wire, tie wire, whatever you want to call it, and fish it through this rubber, and I have to pull this wire through because it's a pain in the butt. If you're not really super concerned with trying to hide it, you can paint the wire black and just zip tie it to this wire, and there's a grommet right here, and shove it in through. It's up to you, but that comes in right there. You don't even have to remove the sound deadener. I'm gonna poke a hole through this tape and fish it through. Alright guys, so an easier way to do this. There's two T20s on the inside here. Take this out, then you have straight access to push your wire through and get it out. And then you can slide your wire right in here, pop that grommet back over and slide it back in. So, just an easier way to do it. Alright guys, so I got my wire running through. I got to plug back in. So that's what I'm going to do. Where my wire runs through here, I'm going to shorten it up and then tuck all these wires up in. But before I do that, I'm going to take the other end of the wire and I'm going to check it first by hooking it up to the battery, making sure I got running lights, because I don't want to get it all together to find out that maybe this T-tap didn't dig into the wire and give me good connection on that ground, because I don't want to get the door pin and everything back together to find out it doesn't work. So I'm going to do that first, check that, and then tuck all these wires up. Alright guys, so got it hooked up to the battery. Running light works. And then flip on the turn signal. And the turn signal works. So that's what it's going to do once I get it all hooked up. There we go, so got the box there. Got the wiring all tucked except for right here where it goes in to the the channel for this rubber piece goes into the door. But there it is inside the truck. So I'm gonna jump over to the other side, because where I plan on tying this running light in is in that A pillar on that side, because if I remember correctly, the cab lights come down and there's a connector there. I believe even the trucks that do not have running lights have a connector in that A pillar. So that is the plan on hooking into the running lights for the cab lights. So I'm just gonna leave it sit here, throw the door back together, and jump over the passenger side. Alright guys, so I left off, I guess 2 days ago, which I finished the driver's side door panel. I just left the running light plug in the kick panel on that side. It got dark. Wasn't that it was late, it was like 7 o'clock, but had to feed the kids, get to bed and everything, so I left off there. I was gonna start on this side last night, but I didn't get home from work till late, so didn't start on it. So I'm gonna do this side and then get the running lights ran. Like I said, I believe, if I remember correctly, the cab lights come down and there should be a plug in this A pillar here on the passenger side. So if you remove this grab handle, which there's a bolt here and a bolt here, and there should be a plug in here. That is for your running lights for your cab light. And I'm gonna tap into that. So pull this door panel off, get it wired up, and then work on the running lights. Alright guys, so I have tore everything apart already. So same thing on this side. You hold the plug. The right side, you need the top 2 wires on the right. Second one in is your power wire again. The outside one is your ground. So it's the same thing as the driver's side. I just tore everything apart already, just so it was already apart. Now, the nice thing about the passenger side here, you'll notice there's no plug. So you can just shove your wire through it and you don't have to try to route it around the plug. Because there is this groove here, and the only thing I don't like is you do have a chance of cutting the wire or nicking the wire on here, and you can short it out. That's the only thing I don't like about putting it through the side there. But nice thing on the passenger side, only one plug, because you don't have all the controls on this side. On the driver's side, you have your mirror controls, you have all the window controls. This side, one window and no mirror controls. So I'll start by cutting this wire, stripping it, and attaching the signal wire and the out wire on it. Alright guys, so the out wire I've gone up to the mirror like I did driver's side, and the signal wire, the blue one, goes into the module. And then I went ahead and tapped the ground. Now I'm going to put the running light wire, the short orange one, I'm going to run it through the door harness again, like I did on the other side, and get it connected up. And then I will test it and then tuck everything like I did on the other side before I run them up to the running lights. Alright guys, so how fun the end of it is. So my plug's in my pillar kick panel down here on the passenger side. It runs out through, and where that plug would be like on the driver's side. And then I have it run through that rubber in between the door and the cab, out through like I did on the driver's side, and tie into the plug. So now I can plug it in and test, make sure that ground's good. make sure turn signals and everything works still. Because like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of these T-taps because I've had numerous troubles with them. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Apparently they're working with these kits, so I'm going to use them. But I'm just speaking from my experiences. So I'm going to take the long wire. I'm actually going to do both of them at the same time to see what they look like. I got the hood up and I already have the kick panel off that side and the wire out. So I'm going to plug both of them in and we'll see if they work. Alright guys, so passenger side running light, driver's side running light. And I'll do them individually just because I figure if I flip the 4 ways on, it might override the turn signal. There's driver's side. There's passenger side still solid. Now we'll flip to the other side. Solid on the driver's side. And flashers on the passenger side. Just like it's supposed to. It's nice when things work out. Alright, so I'm going to pull these wires off. And I'm going to unplug them here. Next thing I'm going to do is tuck all this wiring up in. And obviously shorten this wire. I'll put that all back together. I'll put the door panel back on. And then when I'm all done with that, it's going to be pulling this pillar off, making sure that plug is in there. Because, like I said, I can't remember if it's there or not. But I believe it is. And then it'll just be running the driver's side over. This passenger side's not too hard. It's pretty much pop this cover off, run straight up. So I'm gonna start tucking all these wires up since it's kind of a mess, and then go from there. Alright guys, so the wiring's all tucked. This side actually tucked a little nicer than the other side did. Like I said, the only place you're really going to see that wire is right there, because it's kind of hard to, unless I cut this whole harness and then sneak it in there, and then you risk cutting the wires. And I could sneak it in there, I just ran it on the outside, because unless you're pulling the door panel, you ain't going to see it. But it's ran in there, and then obviously it comes out down here. I didn't need to pull this pin like I did on the other side. I found that out after I pulled it, because I don't think I can get on camera. But right up underneath here, there's the hole that goes out there. So it's not like the driver's side that's a pain in the butt. This side's actually pretty easy. But there's that. I'm gonna put the door panel back on and then get this pillar pulled off. Alright guys, so take this pillar off. You pop these little caps out, top and bottom. I don't know if I can get the camera in there to focus. Probably not. Anyways, there's a 10mm bolt in both holes. So a 10mm socket. Take them both out. And then it should just pop out. So I'm going to take them bolts out and get that pillar out. Let's see if I can hold the camera and do both. Probably not. Maybe. I might not be able to hold the camera and do both. Alright. Got the bolts out now. They're just small 10mm. And should just be there. I said it just pops in. And I did not know this truck had side curtain airbags. Huh, interesting. I guess I should just read you now. Top of the B pillar. That's what your side curtain airbag looks like. Interesting. So, I do see wires running up through here. Now, the thing is, you gotta make sure, now that I know it has airbags, what's your airbag wire and what's your cab lights. So, I'm gonna look up a wiring diagram between the two. Alright guys, so you actually don't have to pull this pillar out at all. On the older trucks, I believe, it was on up here more. There was a plug. But this is the newest truck I've owned. And you just pull this panel out right here inside the door. Right here's your plug. Did not know that. So, did a little searching. And this white with a green stripe, if I can get it to roll. Yeah, that better. Now you can kind of see that it's got a green stripe on it. But that is your positive for your cab lights. So my lights are off now. I got no power. And I will roll my lights on. I can reach the switch. We now have power. So that is your cab light power to tap into. Shut that back off because that's annoying. So all you gotta do is just pop this panel off the side of your dash, and it's your white with green on it for your running lights. So I'm going to take that wire off the driver's side and run it through the dash and bring it over to here. This one is very simple. It's almost long enough without taking the extension on it. The plug. So I'm going to start running that wire across and get it hooked up. Alright guys, so to run this wire, I drop the lower kick panel by your knees, which you take the screw out of there, and there we go, and the screw out of there, pop it out from the start at the bottom and then work your way up to the top, and it'll pop its way out. Then I pop the radio bezel out. Well, dash bezel, radio bezel, whatever you want to call this. Popped it out. You gotta take, mine just has the two top screws. Some will have screws in these cubbies. This one just doesn't happen to have one. The higher trims should have them, so it's a good idea to check in them. Pop that out, and then I pop the glove box out, which you just squeeze the sides and pop it out. And that's how I'm gonna run the wire through so I can tuck it in. Then I'm gonna run it across and up in. Alright guys, so I got both wires over here. Driver's side one and passenger side one. So like I said, the passenger side one was long enough it would pretty much reach itself. So what I ended up doing, as you can see here, I put a twist in it and zip tied the connector right here. That is so I'm able to fit the inline fuse and everything before the plug. If not, this plug is pretty much right here, and that's just not gonna work. So in the kit, this is what I have left. So it comes with 2 more T-taps and these 2 black wires. They're made to individually hook these up. So I might have to make my own one of these wires, because I'm going to tie, obviously, both those wires together. So I may have to get I have a heat shrink one that is blue on one end and red on the other end, so that or pink, whatever you want to call it, that'll fit on here. So I may have to cut one of them ends off and put that on there, so we only have to use one of these. So I'm gonna hook that up now. Alright guys, so I had to use one of my red and blue step downs to fit the wires, and I got it connected. I left the glove box out for now because I got to make sure I got this wire up high enough that it's going to clear the glove box and everything whenever I tuck these wires. So I want to check it, make sure it works, and then I can tuck the wires up and then it'll be done. So, running light, both on. Driver side turn signal. It works, and that's still solid. Swap to the other side. This one's solid, and that one's flashing. Now we check it with 4 ways, just to check it. That one's on. That one's on. So I'm going to tuck those wires and put the dash back together the rest of the way. Since I already got the kick panel back in and the radio cover, the radio bezel, I did not put this panel back in yet because I got some stuff I want to do yet that doesn't pertain to this. Alright guys, so truck's all back together. Obviously you saw they worked. I'm going to get a video of it at night because it's not as easy to see during the day. I mean, those lights aren't just the brightest things in the world. So I'm gonna get a video of it at night before I obviously post this video. But that's pretty much it for the installation. So thanks for watching, and I'll make sure I upload it with a video of it at night.